Hey guys, it's Sagar from TechWorks, and I finally have the video that you guys have been waiting for. A detailed camera review of the Redmi K20 Pro. Most of you guys know this by now that I don't get review units from companies. So I purchase these phones when they go on sale, just like you guys, which means some of these videos are a bit delayed. On top of that, it has been raining continuously in my city, making it more difficult to get good image samples. But I think it is better late than never, and I know this video is still going to help a lot of you guys. Now I spent a good amount of time taking image samples in various lighting conditions, and I have also included a lot of video samples from all the lenses and some interesting slow motion videos. Not only that, but I also took and compared a few images with the Gcam app for this phone. So make sure you watch the complete video. Redmi K20 Pro comes with a triple camera setup. But before we go ahead and check out these three cameras, let us take a few moments to talk about the skins that you see on my K20 Pro. These skins are from our sponsors of this video, Capes India. They offer a wide variety of skins in different designs for a lot of devices. As much as I love the carbon fiber structure inside the glass back of this K20 Pro, I must admit that this glass is a fingerprint magnet and there is a good possibility that it will get scratched with time. Applying one of these skins from Capes India will not only help you protect the back glass from scratches, but these skins also add a bit of grip to the back, making them less likely to slip out of your hands. Head over to Capes India's website from the link in the description and use the code TechWorks to get 10% off your order. Primary camera on the K20 Pro gets the same 48MP Sony IMX586 sensor that we saw on so many phones this year. On this phone, it is coupled with f1.8 aperture and a 26mm lens. Next camera gets an 8MP sensor with f2.4 aperture and a 53mm lens which gives us 2x optical zoom. There have been some rumors going around that this telephoto lens is not working or it is fake. But don't worry, it is working as it should, and I will talk more about it when we look at the image samples. The third and final camera comes with a 13MP sensor with f2.4 aperture, and this one gets a 12mm super wide angle lens. You can take 4K videos in up to 60fps, and the interesting thing is, you can take these 4K 60fps videos with all the three rear cameras. We don't see many smartphone manufacturers giving us this feature. It can also take 1080p videos in 30, 60, 120 and 240fps, and this one is my favorite, that it can record 960fps super slow motion videos in 1080p resolution. The motorized pop-up front-facing camera gets a 20MP sensor with f2.2 aperture. With all these specs out of the way, let us now get to the image and video samples from this K20 Pro. Starting with the daylight shots. By now, we know that the 48MP Sony IMX586 sensor captures a lot of details, and the Redmi K20 Pro is no different. There is a good amount of sharpness in these images, and the contrast levels are also maintained well in almost all of these shots. Even as we zoom in on some of the shots, we see that they hold their details. Colors also look good for the most part. Overall white balance of these shots is slightly on the warmer side, which depending on your color preference, you may or may not like. Personally, I feel that the colors turned out pretty good, especially given the overcast lighting conditions. The dynamic range in the normal auto mode is not that great, but with the HDR mode turned on, things get a lot better. It does well to bring up a lot of details from the shadows while preserving the information from the highlights. In this particular image, the difference that the HDR mode makes is very apparent. But for posting on social media, I think the image without the HDR mode is better as it looks more dramatic. Here's another image showing how much information can be brought back from the shadows if you use the HDR mode. As I was taking these shots, the weather suddenly got better with bright blue skies and some clouds came along. Or at least that is what I wished would have happened so I could take these shots. But even when the weather didn't change, the sky replacement feature on the K20 Pro allowed me to manipulate the sky in these images to make it look like the sun actually came out. To access this feature, in the gallery, go to an image with sky in it, tap on the edit button, select filter and tap on sky. Now this gives you various choices. You have 6 options to choose from, and you can even adjust the amount of filter being applied by moving the slider around. If you look closely, with the sky, the overall reflections and some subtle tones of the image are also changing color, making it very difficult to guess which one of these images is the original one. It is such a cool feature to experiment and play with. Now K20 Pro has 3 cameras at the back, and all 3 have different focal lengths, thanks to which you can take wide, normal and 2x optically zoomed images like this by standing at the same spot. Like with most of the other phones with multiple cameras, the wide and telephoto cameras are not as sharp as the primary one, but it is still great to have this option. I like the wide lens in particular as it gives the image a very unique perspective. Now some of you might have heard that the telephoto lens on the K20 Pro is fake or it is not working, because you can't take 2x images even when the lens is covered. Well, let me explain how the telephoto lens works on this and all other smartphones in the market. Generally, the telephoto camera uses a lower megapixel sensor with a smaller aperture value than the primary sensor, so it needs a lot of light to capture detailed images. Most of the times when you are indoors or in artificial lighting conditions, there is less light, so the sensor is not able to produce detailed images and the image might be very noisy. So what all these phones do is use the primary camera, which usually has a better quality sensor and wider aperture, to capture these images and then digitally zoom or crop in on a particular part of an image. These digitally zoomed images from the primary camera are better than the optically zoomed images from the telephoto lens in lower light. All the smartphone manufacturers use this method to give you the best possible results, and some smartphones are smart enough to use this method even if there is plenty of light, but the telephoto lens is partially or fully covered with your finger. So don't worry, the telephoto lens on your K20 Pro is working just as it should. Moving on, all the images from the primary camera have been shot with the default 12 megapixel mode. It uses pixel binning to combine information from 4 pixels into 1 pixel, giving us a denser, detailed image. But if you want, you do get the option to take 48 megapixel images. Here are a few 48 megapixel images compared with the 12 megapixel ones. The difference is so little that most people might not even notice even after zooming in 2 to 3 times. So I would suggest you to stick with the normal 12 megapixel mode for almost all of your shots. Moving towards the close-up shots. The main camera is fast at setting the focus on a particular object. The subject is in perfect sharp focus, and thanks to the wide f1.8 aperture, background gets a nice optical blur. It is very fast at latching onto the focus on a nearby object. Just move the camera close to any object and it grabs onto the focus in no time. If you love taking portrait shots, the Redmi K20 Pro will not disappoint you. It is good at detecting the edges and separating the subject from background. This edge detection might not be perfect in every shot, but overall, almost all of the portrait shots look pretty good. You can choose to take portraits from the primary camera or even use the telephoto camera to take these shots. While portrait shots from the telephoto camera have a more natural look to them, I feel the ones from the primary camera are sharper and show better colors. It does equally well while taking portrait shots of objects. I feel the edge detection is much better than any of the previous Redmi phones. And thanks to the option of taking portrait shots with primary or telephoto lens, you don't have to worry about walking away from your subject to get these shots, just switching the lens does the job. This is especially helpful in artificial or low lighting conditions where the portrait shots are much better from the primary lens. Coming to indoor, artificial and low lighting conditions. These images look good, especially if you look at them on a smartphone. There is a bit of noise creeping in, but it's visible only if you zoom in a lot. The K20 Pro does really well while handling the exposure from lights in these situations, and you can see plenty of details in these shots if there is even a small source of light nearby. But if these images are not good enough for you, there is a night mode to help you take even better and brighter images in lower light. Look at how much more light, details and sharpness this mode brings in. The only downside is, like in most of the phones, these images take a couple of seconds to capture, so it is better to try this mode on non-moving objects or scenes. Now many of you guys always ask me to make videos about Gcam. Keeping that in mind, I have included some Gcam samples from the K20 Pro in this video itself. Here is a low light image from the native camera app compared with the image from Gcam. You can clearly see the image from Google Camera app being a bit brighter. And now here are same images shot in the night mode from both the apps. In this case, night mode image from the native camera app of the K20 Pro turned out better than the night mode image from the Gcam. Here we have another set of images, and again auto mode image from the Gcam is slightly brighter. And here are same images with the night mode from both the apps. In this case, Gcam gave a bit brighter image, but it also added a lot of noise, whereas the night mode image from the native camera app has less noise and looks more balanced. Moving on to the next set of images, we see the same trend continue. Normal auto mode images are slightly better from the Gcam, but the night mode images are better from the native camera app of the K20 Pro. Just like you guys, I also expected the night mode images from the Gcam to be much better, but that is not the case. Here are few images from the Gcam and native camera app in daytime, and in these conditions, the difference gets even narrower. It's only when you zoom in a lot, you might notice that the images from the Gcam are a tad bit sharper, but even then, the difference is so little that I would say it's better to stick with the native camera app for almost all of your images. That brings us to the front-facing camera. I have said this before that I am not a big fan of this pop-up mechanism for the front-facing cameras. I would much rather have a small notch than this mechanism. This 20 megapixel selfie camera can actually take some amazing detailed images, and I even feel that this might be the best selfie camera that Redmi has ever included on their smartphones. Now I did see MKBHD's video about this phone, and I know that he said that the front camera is really bad. I think he might have got a defective unit because I have the same exact phone and the results are in front of you. It does really well with the portrait selfies as well. Edge detection is at par with other smartphones in this price range, and overall colors and dynamic range also seems pretty good. You can take 4K 60fps videos with this phone, and you can do this with all 3 rear cameras. You can't switch lenses while recording videos, but it is still cool that we have this option. 60fps videos are not stabilized in any way, but 30fps videos get electronic stabilization. You can shoot 1080p slow motion videos at 120, 240 and even 960fps, which is insane. After looking at all these image and video samples, I feel Redmi has done a great job with the cameras on this K20 Pro. I think other than lack of OIS on the primary camera, there is not a lot to complain about. It is still worth mentioning that telephoto and wide cameras are not as sharp as the primary cameras, but we see this trend on almost all of the smartphones which are priced even higher than the K20 Pro, so we sort of expect it by now. With the ability to take 4K 60fps videos with all 3 lenses, 960fps slow motion videos at 1080p resolution, smart features like sky replacement and various effects in portrait shot editor, I think the K20 Pro offers one of the best set of cameras at this price point. I will definitely compare these cameras with the OnePlus 7, 7 Pro, Realme X and even the Redmi Note 7 Pro to see where does it stand in comparison. So make sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. That way you won't miss out when those videos come out. Now what do you guys think about the cameras on this K20 Pro? Do let me know in the comments. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.